There is a kind of suffering that does not look dramatic. It does not come with fire. It does not come with chaos. It does not come with sharp pain or visible breakdown. It comes with heaviness. It comes with too much sleep, too little clarity, too much inner fog, too little movement, too much emotional dampening, and a life that slowly begins to sink inward. That is what you need to understand when you study Kapha in the 12th house. And if you are a healer or an astrology student, this is one of those combinations you cannot afford to read superficially. Because the 12th house is not just sleep, it is not just isolation, it is not just spirituality, it is the chamber of the subconscious, it is the hidden field of rest, dreams, release, withdrawal, and silent dissolution. It governs the feet, sleep, dreams, restful states, the lymphatic system, fluidic release from the body, and deep subconscious brain functions. So when Kapha rises here, something very specific happens. The invisible life of the person becomes dense, the subconscious becomes slow moving, the emotional field becomes dampened, the mind does not necessarily break, it thickens. That is the real signature. The slide makes this very clear. When Kapha increases in the 12th house, rest becomes excessive and stagnation develops. Neurologically and subconsciously, this can show up as deep but excessive sleep, difficulty recalling dreams, brain fog upon waking, sluggish mental processing, and emotional heaviness. Emotionally, it can show up as withdrawal from social engagement, attachment to comfort, avoidance of confrontation, emotional suppression, and depressive inertia. Now stop there for a moment, because that one idea alone is profound. Many people think sleep automatically means healing. Many people think withdrawal automatically means introspection. Many people think stillness automatically means peace. But you and I have to be more precise than that, because in Jyotish Ayurveda, quality matters. Kapha is heavy, slow, moist, cold, and cohesive. These qualities are necessary for stability, tissue nourishment, emotional holding, and restoration. But when they increase too much, they stop supporting life and start slowing it down. In that state, the person may still be resting, but the rest is no longer renewing them. It is merely keeping them submerged. And that is exactly why the 12th house becomes such a powerful diagnostic zone. Because the 12th house shows what happens when consciousness begins to retreat from the outer world. If healthy, this retreat becomes meditation, surrender, replenishment, dream integration, and spiritual depth. If Kapha is excessive, the retreat becomes fog, numbness, emotional avoidance, and inertia. Now let us bring in the planetary logic shown in the slide. The symbols indicated here point toward Moon, Jupiter, and Venus. And this is where the reading becomes truly interesting. Let us begin with the moon. The moon governs mind, emotions, food, water, fluids, and the internal emotional climate. In the health framework, moon has a Vata Kapha constitution, and it is deeply connected with sleep, lethargy, drowsiness, water retention, digestive complaints, and mental emotional fluctuation. So when the moon becomes part of a 12th house Kapha pattern, the person's inner world becomes saturated. Sleep deepens, but awareness dulls. Emotions are felt but not processed cleanly. The person may wake up heavy, dream less clearly, carry emotional residue, and move through life as though the psyche is coated in moisture and mist. This is important because moon in a Kapha-heavy 12th house does not always cry loudly. Sometimes it simply withdraws. Sometimes it becomes quiet. Sometimes it stops engaging. Sometimes it hides inside comfort, food, fantasy, sleep, or emotional insulation. So as a healer, you must learn not to confuse emotional softness with emotional flow. Sometimes softness is flow. Sometimes softness is stagnation. Now look at Jupiter. Jupiter is a Kapha graha. It expands, nourishes, accumulates, and amplifies. In the body health framework, Jupiter is linked with fat, abdominal growth tendencies, and lymphatic or circulatory congestion. So when Jupiter participates in a 12th house Kapha expression, the inner retreat becomes bigger. The need for space becomes bigger. The attachment to emotional and psychological insulation becomes bigger. The person may begin to normalize excessive sleep, passive coping, slow cognition, and comfortable withdrawal, as though these are signs of wisdom or surrender. And here is the subtle trap with Jupiter. Jupiter can give meaning to the very pattern that is slowing the person down. It can help them explain the withdrawal, justify the retreat, spiritualize the heaviness. So the person may not say, I am stuck. They may say, I just need more rest. They may not say, I am emotionally frozen. They may say, I am protecting my energy. Now, sometimes that is true. But sometimes Jupiter expands the comfort of the cave, and if you cannot tell the difference, you will misread the chart. Now add Venus. Venus brings Kapha qualities and is linked with water element, organic matter, sensuality, kidneys, bladder, sexual tissues, pleasure, sweetness, and the desire to soften experience. So when Venus influences a 12th house Kapha state, emotional heaviness often becomes tied to comfort seeking. The native may withdraw into soothing rituals, emotional dependency, fantasy, passive intimacy, sleep, or private indulgence. Conflict is avoided. Discomfort is postponed. Emotional confrontation is softened, delayed, or suppressed. This is why the emotional expression on the slide is so exact. Withdrawal from social engagement, attachment to comfort, avoidance of confrontation, emotional suppression, depressive inertia. This is not random psychology. This is a coherent 12th house Kapha pattern. The subconscious becomes dense. The emotional body becomes dampened. The person does not always fall apart. They simply stop moving. That is the danger. Because when fire suffers, you notice it. When Vata spikes, you notice it. But when Kapha accumulates in the 12th, the person can look functional for a long time while slowly losing sharpness, courage, and responsiveness. So what are you really looking at here? You are looking at a chart signature where the inner waters are no longer circulating well. The psyche becomes like a pond without movement. Still, yes. Quiet, yes. But also thick. Also holding residue, also storing what should have been released. And remember, the 12th house is a release house. It rules endings, drainage, sleep, dream processing, and the body's capacity to let go. So if Kapha dominates here, the release mechanism itself becomes heavy. The person sleeps but does not clear, dreams but does not integrate, withdraws but does not renew, feels but does not express, rests but does not revive. That is the clinical beauty of this combination. Now, for astrology students, here is the real lesson. Do not read the 12th house romantically. Too many people see the 12th house and immediately talk about mysticism, moksha, meditation, and divine surrender. But the 12th house is only as elevated as the quality functioning through it. When moon becomes saturated, Jupiter becomes excessive, and Venus becomes comfort bound under Kapha influence. The 12th house can become a chamber of emotional storage rather than liberation. That is a very different reading. And for healers, this can help you ask much better questions. Instead of asking only, are you resting enough? You ask, does your rest actually restore you? Instead of asking, are you protecting your peace? You ask, has peace become avoidance? Instead of asking, do you need more time alone? You ask, is solitude helping you process or helping you postpone? That is where your practice becomes more penetrating, because now you are reading the pattern beneath the behavior. Now let me say something even more direct. A person with this type of pattern may seem gentle, calm, and non-confrontational. But underneath that presentation may be unprocessed emotional sediment, fear of activation, attachment to emotional cushioning, and difficulty re-entering the friction of real life. That is why emotional suppression is on the slide. That is why depressive inertia is on the slide. Kapha in the 12th does not always explode. It congeals. And once emotional life congeals, the person starts living from habit instead of aliveness. That is the deeper cost. So when you see Moon, Jupiter, and Venus carrying a 12th house Kapha expression, think carefully. Moon tells you the mind is holding moisture. Jupiter tells you the heaviness is expanding. Venus tells you the person may soothe themselves through comfort and withdrawal. Together they can produce a life that feels safe, soft, and sheltered on the surface, but inwardly slow, dampened, avoidant, and hard to mobilize. That is a sophisticated reading. That is the kind of reading your clients remember because it names the thing they feel but may never have had language for. And that is what great Jyotish teaching should do. It should not only identify planets and houses, it should reveal the hidden mechanics of lived experience. So the next time you read a chart with strong 12th house Kapha influence, do not ask only whether the person is spiritual. Ask whether the person is emotionally circulating. Ask whether sleep is renewing or sedating. Ask whether solitude is cleansing or congesting. Ask whether comfort is healing or quietly trapping the soul in still water. That is where this combination opens its real wisdom. If you value this kind of deep Jyotish Ayurveda analysis, stay close to this work. Subscribe, share this with another healer or astrology student, and continue studying these house dosha planet combinations with me.